My girlfriend of 2 years just humiliated me in front of her friends. I walked out and I'm not sure what to do next. Some background. I'm a civil engineer in Seattle, pretty standard life. I've got a one-bedroom condo near downtown that I'm paying off, drive a 2020 Camry that's paid for, play pickup basketball on weekends. Nothing fancy, but I'm doing okay for myself. My girlfriend Ava works as an account manager at a branding agency. She's the complete opposite of me, super outgoing, always at networking events. Instagram is basically her second job. She's constantly flying between Seattle and New York for campaigns. We met about 2 years ago at this urban design meets creative branding event. My boss made me go, and Ava was there hunting for clients. She thought my engineer talk was cute, her words, got my number, and basically love-bombed me for the first few months. It was intense, but in a good way, you know. After 6 months, she pretty much moved into my place. Brought her plants, her hipster decor, the whole 9 yards. We fell into this routine, Costco runs on weekends, meal prep for the week, Netflix at night, Seahawks on Sunday. She'd call me my rock and my grown-up on her Instagram stories, telling her friends I was drama-free and safe. Honestly, I thought we were solid. I thought I'd found someone who wanted the same stable adult life I did. But here's where things get weird. I've brought Ava home to my parents in Oregon multiple times. Barbecues in the backyard, the whole family thing. My mom loves her, my dad thinks she's great. But in 2 years, I've never met her family. Not once. Every time I bring it up, she has a reason. My family is super traditional. They don't want me bringing guys home until we're engaged. My mom is really judgmental. She'll compare you to my cousin's husbands who work in tech. It sounded reasonable at the time, but 2 years. I've never had dinner with them, never even FaceTimed with them properly. I've only seen them in the background of her Instagram posts. Then there's her work crew. Ava started having a lot of agency nights out, team drinks, karaoke, bowling, client dinners. She'd mention this guy Luke a lot, her strategy lead who's super smart and talks about IPOs with founders all the time. But she always described him vaguely, like he was just some background character. My best friend Jonah, we've been tight since college. He went through a rough divorce, so he's pretty good at spotting red flags. Met Ava at a game night a few months back. Afterward, he pulled me aside. Bro, she talks like she's pitching a client, not like she's being real. Watch your back. I brushed it off at the time. So tonight everything came crashing down. Ava texted me around 8. Tonight I'm with my crew at the Copper Fox. You should stop by if you want. 9 p.m. The way she phrased it felt off, like if you feel like it instead of I want you there. But I went anyway. The Copper Fox is this industrial chic craft beer place. When I got there, her group was already pretty drunk. And there's this guy in a simple vest and an expensive watch, Luke. I'd never actually met him before. Ava was sitting closer to him than to me, laughing really loud at everything he said. The vibe was already weird, but I tried to play it cool. Then one of her friends asked, half joking, "So when are your parents finally meeting Liam? It's been 2 years, girl." Before I could even respond, Ava laughed and said, "My parents, please. You think I'd bring this guy home?" The whole table went silent. A couple people laughed nervously. Luke looked down at his drink. And me, I just went cold, not because of the specific words, but because it was clear this wasn't the first time she talked about me like this in front of her friends. I didn't yell, didn't make a scene. I just looked at her and said, "Don't worry, you won't have to." I dropped some cash on the table for my beer, stood up and walked straight out. Didn't look back, didn't wait for an explanation. I drove home like I was on autopilot. I've been sitting in my building's parking garage for the past hour just trying to understand. 2 years. 2 years of thinking we were building something real, and apparently I was the only one who thought so. I don't even know what I'm asking here. I guess I just needed to write it down. Has anyone else been through something like this? How do you even process this? Update 1. I didn't think I'd be back this soon, but things escalated fast and I need to get this out. So after I left that bar Friday night, I expected Ava to at least call and apologize, right? Radio silence. Nothing. For 3 hours I sat in my apartment, which still has her plants and decor everywhere by the way, and just waited. Around midnight I finally got a text. Not from Ava. From Priya. Priya is Ava's best friend from college. Her text said, "Liam, we need to talk. This isn't right anymore." We met for coffee Saturday morning. I was expecting her to defend Ava. Instead, she looked me in the eye and said, "I've been feeling guilty for months. You deserve to know the truth. Guys, Ava has been seeing Luke for almost 6 months. Not just work drinks, seeing him." According to Priya, Ava told their friend group that I was her practice husband, someone to split rent with, do the boring adult stuff with, while Luke was the one she was actually serious about. The one she was planning a future with. I literally felt sick. Priya kept going. All those work trips to Miami, Vegas, the team offsites, Ava was with Luke. They shared hotel rooms. They went on actual dates. And she told her friends she was planning to break up with me after I get my promotion because he's too nice and I don't want drama. Too nice. I'm too freaking nice. Priya also showed me pictures. The group had seen them at Lake Tahoe together holding hands. In a hotel lobby in Portland, his arm around her. These weren't just work colleagues. They looked like a couple because they were. I asked Priya why she was telling me this now. She said, because what she said at the bar was disgusting. You've been nothing but good to her and she treats you like you're beneath her. I can't watch it anymore. After Priya left, I sat in my car for probably an hour just connecting dots. We share Amazon Prime and Spotify family. I went back through the accounts. There were hotel bookings in cities I didn't know about. Uber receipts to addresses that weren't work events. All those nights she said she was staying at a girlfriend's place. I pulled up Luke's Instagram and LinkedIn. The locations matched. Every single time. I downloaded everything. Screenshots, receipts, booking confirmations. Made a folder on my laptop. Not because I wanted to blackmail anyone, but because I knew if I confronted her, she'd gaslight me. I needed proof for myself. Sunday afternoon, Ava finally texted. "Last night I think you overreacted. Can we meet and talk this through?" I agreed to meet at a busy coffee shop, neutral territory. She showed up looking like she'd barely slept, but immediately went into damage control mode. "Baby, I'm so sorry. I was drunk. I was trying to be funny. I was just feeling pressure from my friends asking about marriage." I didn't argue. I just pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots. The Airbnb booking that matched her girl's weekend in Portland, with Luke checked in at the same location on LinkedIn. The hotel in Lake Tahoe. The pictures Priya had sent me. She went completely white, started stammering. Then the excuses came. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. I was scared of losing opportunities with Luke. But I didn't want to lose you either because you're so stable. That word, stable. Like I was a freaking savings account, not a person. I cut her off. "I'm not your safety net. I'm not here for you to practice being an adult and then leave when someone more exciting comes along. We're done." I told her she had 5 days to get her stuff out of my apartment. I'd stay at Jonah's place while she moved out. She started crying, reaching for my hand, saying we could work through this. I pulled away and left. I thought that was the end of it. Then yesterday, Priya called me again. Apparently, after our coffee shop confrontation, Ava went crying to her parents' house, wanting to move back home temporarily. But here's the thing, Priya had already called Ava's mom. She felt so guilty about the whole situation that she told Ava's parents the truth. And here's what I learned. Ava's parents have been asking about me for over a year. Ava kept making excuses, telling them we weren't serious, that I wasn't ready for the next step. She even told them once that we'd broken up but were still splitting the apartment for financial reasons. When Ava's mom found out about the cheating, about the lies, about how Ava had been using me as a placeholder while pursuing someone else, she apparently said, "Are you ashamed of your boyfriend or are you ashamed of yourself?" Ava's dad told her she needed to figure out her own housing situation. They weren't going to enable her treating people like this. Even her own parents called her out. So now Ava's scrambling to find a new place, and according to the mutual friend Grapevine, Luke found out that I existed. Turns out he had no idea Ava was still living with a boyfriend. He thought we'd broken up months ago. He's apparently furious that he was unknowingly part of cheating on someone and he's backed off completely. She lost both of us. The stable guy and the exciting guy. and I'm moving forward. It hurts, but I'm moving forward. Edit. To everyone asking if she's reached out since the coffee shop confrontation, yes. Multiple texts, voice messages, even tried to get mutual friends to talk to me. I've ignored all of it. Some of you suggested getting an STD test, already scheduled for next week. I hate that I have to, but you're right. Update 2. I'm back, and unfortunately there's more to this shit show. So Ava had her 5 days to clear her stuff out while I stayed at Jonah's. I made it crystal clear through text. I'd be back on Friday evening, and I expected everything of hers to be gone. No exceptions. I even arranged for Jonah to be there when I got back, just in case she tried to show up and cause drama. Thursday night, around 11 p.m., I got a call from building security. Ava was in the lobby, crying, saying she'd forgotten some items and needed to come up. I told security she was no longer authorized to be in the building and to ask her to leave. According to the guard, she sat in the lobby for another hour before finally leaving. Friday morning, I got a text from her mom. Yeah, her mom. Liam, this is Mrs. Last Name. Ava told us what happened. I'm very sorry for how she's treated you. I want you to know that her father and I think you deserve better, and we've told her the same thing. Please take care of yourself. I didn't know what to do with that. Part of me wanted to respond and thank her for the message. Part of me felt like any contact with anyone in Ava's orbit was a bad idea. I settled on a brief. Thank you for reaching out, I appreciate it. That was it. But apparently that simple reply set Ava off. She called me 17 times that afternoon. 17. I didn't pick up once. Then came the texts. Please just talk to me. I made a huge mistake. My own parents are on your side. Do you know how that feels? Luke won't even respond to me anymore. I lost everything. I'm staying in a shitty shared apartment because you won't forgive me. That last one especially pissed me off. Like I was responsible for her housing situation because I wouldn't let her cheat on me consequence-free. I didn't respond to any of it. Jonah was proud. Hell, even my mom texted me, "Stay strong, honey," after I told her the basics of what happened. I kept the details light because I knew she'd want to drive up from Oregon and murder someone. Friday evening, I got back to my place. Everything of Ava's was gone, plants, decor, clothes, all of it. The apartment felt empty but also lighter, like I could finally breathe in my own space. Jonah and I ordered pizza, watched the game, and for the first time in 2 weeks I felt okay. That peace lasted exactly until Sunday morning. I woke up around 9 a.m. to someone knocking on my door. Not the doorbell, actual knocking. I looked through the peephole and there's Ava, looking like she hadn't slept in days, holding a bag from my favorite breakfast place. I didn't open the door. "Liam, please, I brought your favorite. Please just talk to me for 5 minutes. I spoke through the door. "Ava, you need to leave. We have nothing to talk about. 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking. I know I screwed up. I know I don't deserve you, but I need you to understand." "Understand what?" "That you had a backup plan while you shopped around for someone better. That you called me this guy in front of your friends. I understand perfectly. Leave." She started crying. Full-on sobbing in my hallway. I was scared. I was scared of settling down. Luke seemed exciting, but he wasn't real. He wasn't what you are. I made a mistake. So she wasn't sorry about what she did. She was sorry about the consequences. She was sorry because Luke dumped her when he found out the truth. She was sorry because her parents were disappointed. She was sorry because she had to downgrade her living situation. But nowhere in any of her messages or her sobbing in my hallway did she actually take responsibility for deliberately, repeatedly, lying and cheating. I told her one more time through the door, "If you don't leave right now, I'm calling building security and filing a no trespass order." She left, but not before leaving the bag of food outside my door. I threw it away without opening it. Later that day, I got a message from Priya. "Ava's been blowing up our group chat about how she can't believe you won't forgive her. Half the group is telling her she needs to move on. The other half is trying to stay neutral. I've distanced myself. Just wanted you to know." Some of Ava's friends, who I barely knew, have also reached out saying things like, "Don't you think you're being a little harsh? And everyone makes mistakes, maybe give her another chance." Are you kidding me? 6 months of cheating, 2 years of hiding me from her family, treating me like an embarrassing secret, but I'm the one being harsh for not accepting a breakfast sandwich as an apology. I've blocked most of these people. The ones trying to stay neutral in a situation where someone was cheating and lying aren't really neutral at all. But here's the positive stuff, because it's not all doom and gloom. I threw myself into work. There's this big community bridge project I've been part of, and I volunteered to take on more responsibility. Stayed late a few nights, really focused on the technical aspects. My boss noticed and actually pulled me aside to say he's considering me for a lead project engineer role in the next quarter. And there's this woman named Jade who works in city planning. We've had a few meetings for the bridge project, and she's different, in a good way. Very straightforward, no bullshit kind of person. We started grabbing coffee after meetings to discuss project details, and the conversations naturally drifted to other topics. She's a single mom, 29, and when she found out I'd recently gotten out of a relationship, she didn't pry. Just said, "Well, their loss. You seem like you've got your shit together." That was it. No drama, no fishing for details, just a simple statement, and we moved on. She mentioned her son once, showed me a picture, talked about the challenges of co-parenting. It was refreshingly honest. When I told her about my best friend Jonah, she said, "I'd love to meet him sometime. Anyone who has your back through tough shit is worth knowing." I'm not ready for anything romantic right now, and Jade gets that. But it's nice to see what adult communication actually looks like. It's nice to talk to someone who doesn't view relationships as strategic opportunities. Meanwhile, the Ava saga continues through the grapevine. According to mutual acquaintances, she's moved into a shared apartment with a coworker from her agency, way out from downtown. Her Instagram went from daily posts about rooftop parties and events to occasional posts with vague quotes about growth and learning who you are. Luke apparently requested to be moved to different projects so he wouldn't have to work directly with her. HR got involved at some point, though I don't know the details. Ava's been telling people that she's the victim here, that I didn't fight for the relationship, and that Luke led her on. The lack of accountability is almost impressive. Jonah says I'm handling this way better than he did with his divorce. My parents drove up last weekend just to take me to dinner and make sure I was eating properly. Very mom move, but I appreciated it. I'm getting there. Some days are harder than others, but mostly, I'm relieved. I dodged a bullet. If she could do this for 6 months, lie to my face, our families, her friends, while maintaining the perfect Instagram couple facade, what else was she capable of? Edit. The STD test came back clean, thank God. That was a stressful week of waiting. Final update. All right, folks, this is probably my last update unless something crazy happens, and at this point I hope nothing does. It's been about 2 months since everything exploded, and I figured I owed you all a final wrap-up since so many of you have been following this mess and offering support. Let's start with the Ava situation, since I know that's what most of you are curious about. About 3 weeks ago, I got a DM on Instagram from a burner account. The message just said, "If I could turn back time, I'd do everything differently. I know I don't deserve it, but I miss you every day." I didn't open it. I saw the preview notification and I just deleted it. Didn't block the account, didn't respond, just deleted. It felt good to not engage at all. Then last week, I ran into one of Ava's former coworkers at a coffee shop. We'd met a few times when I picked Ava up from work events. She recognized me and came over to say hi, and after some small talk she got real with me. I heard what happened. For what it's worth, a lot of people at the agency aren't surprised. Ava always seemed more concerned with appearances than substance. She's been struggling since Luke refused to work with her anymore. Apparently, Ava's having a rough time at work. The agency is pretty tight-knit, and word got around about the situation. She didn't get the promotion she was expecting. She's been taken off some of the bigger accounts, and the whole dual relationship thing created enough awkwardness that she's been looking at positions at other agencies. Her Instagram is now mostly reposts of motivation quotes and the occasional story about healing and finding yourself. The rooftop parties and event pics have stopped entirely. According to Priya, who still updates me occasionally, Ava tells people she's focusing on self-improvement but mostly just stays home and doom scrolls. Part of me feels bad, a tiny part. But then I remember sitting in my parking garage after she humiliated me or finding out about 6 months of lies, and that feeling disappears pretty quick. Her parents actually sent me a card last month. Like, a physical card in the mail. It said something about hoping I'm doing well and that they're sorry for how things turned out. It was thoughtful and honestly kind of sad. They seemed like good people who raised a daughter that didn't inherit their values. Now for the good stuff. The project lead position came through. I'm now heading up the Community Bridge project, which is huge for my career. It's more responsibility, better pay, and honestly the work has been a great distraction. The bridge is actually ahead of schedule. My team is solid. The city planning department has been great to work with, and we're looking at a completion date about 3 months earlier than originally projected. My boss told me last week that he's already considering me for an even bigger infrastructure project starting next year. Jonah's been dating someone new, a teacher he met at a bookstore of all places. She seems cool, and more importantly, she seems genuine. We've hung out as a group a few times, and it's been nice to see him happy again after his divorce put him through the ringer. And then there's Jade. We've been spending more time together outside of work. Not officially dating, but something's developing. It's been slow, which is exactly what I needed. After the last meeting about the bridge project, she asked if I wanted to check out a photography exhibit at the downtown gallery. We went, walked around for a couple hours, then grabbed dinner at this hole-in-the-wall Thai place. At dinner, she said something that stuck with me. When do I get to meet Jonah? If he approves, I know I'm safe. It was such a simple question, but it hit me how different it was from Ava. Jade wanted to meet the important people in my life. She wasn't hiding me or keeping me separate from her world. She'd already introduced me to her son briefly when I helped her move a bookshelf. The kid is obsessed with Minecraft and told me about his latest build for 15 minutes straight. I told her, soon. I want everyone important in my life to know each other. And I meant it. We're planning a low-key group hangout next weekend, me, Jade and her son, Jonah and his girlfriend. Just board games and pizza at my place. No pressure, no labels, just getting people together. It feels right in a way that nothing with Ava ever did. I'm okay now. Actually, I'm better than okay. I'm building a life that I'm proud of with people who are proud to be part of it. I'm not hiding who I am or settling for being treated like an embarrassment. The bridge project is coming along. My team respects me. Jade wants to introduce me to her friends. Jonah approves, which is high praise from someone who trusts no one. My parents are happy I'm happy. And Ava, she's dealing with the consequences of her choices. I don't wish her harm, but I also don't care what happens to her anymore. She's not my problem. She's not my concern. She's just someone I used to know who taught me exactly what I won't accept in my next relationship. Life goes on, and I'm going with it. Thanks for everything, Reddit. You helped me see clearly when I was still trying to rationalize bullshit. Peace out.